Carolina on the ride. Carolina on the ride.
What's going on, Panther Nation? Bill Mack here with another edition of the Panther Prowl. Glad you folks could join me as the clock finally ticked 0. I am here to bring you the results from another game. So another reason to rejoice, Panther fans, as we are now 4-1 first in the NFC South after a game where our defense held in for us, kind of dug their feet in near the end, played a little bit conservative. However, they did hold on to win against the Detroit Lions 27-24. This drops, however, the Detroit Lions to 3-2. Panthers, of course, have a short week this week as they will be taking on the Philadelphia Eagles, which will be a Thursday night game. So it may be a delay in getting that video out to you folks, as I'll be working that day, but I will try to get out as early as I can. There was a lot of keys to the game today, as we've seen. Let's just rack up some of the totals between the two teams. Of course, Carolina had 334 total yards during the game, which Detroit only had 240. Now, mind you, they had under 200 without the last drive or two where they scored those touchdowns. So, for the most part, the Panthers had kept them under 200 yards for the whole game. So, our defense looked really good. However, early on, it was penalty mania. The Panthers were just, last 2 weeks, they only had 2 penalties overall. In this game, Panther fans, they were at 11 penalties for 100 yards compared to only just 1 penalty for Detroit. That was a 10-yard penalty. We see Cam Newton, yet again, very effective, 26 of 33, 355 yards, 3 TDs, and importantly, no interception. So, congrats, Cam, on another game. You didn't allow all that hoopla and things going over the words that he said really interject or have involved whatsoever to negatively affect his game, get in his head. He was right on point. Like I said, his efficiency level once again was getting it out, which he did get involved. His receivers, of course, our running game lacked very much, different than what we seen last week, as Jay Stewart ran 18 times for only a total of 21 yards. Fans, we have got to do better with our running. Of course, we're glad that Cam is effective, but our running game, our offensive line is just allowing whoever's defensive line right in the line to take down our runners. So our offensive line wasn't that well in getting the push today against Detroit. Ed Dickson was the main star. I would give him the MVP of today's game. Ed Dickson had 5 catches for 175 yards, and including a deep pass early in the game. He settled down after the second quarter. He was in the second half. Of course, you figured that would happen, as the Panthers have noticed they like to score first and just play defense in the second half. They rely totally, because Coach Ron, which I'm not going to get into that at this moment, I'll just get into the stats, then I'll give you my opinions on it. We did see, however, Funchess. We've seen Benjamin and McCaffrey, Christian McCaffrey, catch his very first touchdown of his NFL career, which is a shuttle pass from Cam. I thought it was a good play. He scores his first touchdown. You got both your big receivers in. I felt like they done well. Cam spread the ball around. I wish there had been more offense in the second half. Gano stayed on point. That was one of my points. Gano was 2 for 2 with field goals, and he was 3 for 3 on extra points. So, good job on that, Gano. I needed you to do that. Now, we look at the Panthers' defense. We had actually 6 sacks on Stafford. KK Short got 2 of those. Peppers picked up another, which puts him at 4.5 sacks on the year. Luke Kuechly, of course. Kuechly was he missed quite a few tackles today. I don't know whether it was the running backs or the receivers, but they were kind of juking Luke a little bit. And that doesn't look like typical Luke Kuechly, but he did lead the team with 5 tackles and 3 assists. The good thing about the Panthers defense is that they only allowed 50 yards rushing. So great job by the Panthers defense. Remember, that was one of my keys to the Panthers winning last week, was shutting down Abdullah, and they pretty much did that. Let's look at the other side of the ball of Detroit. Stafford, of course, he was 23 of 35 for 229 yards. Like I said, folks, until those last two drives, the Panthers defense really wasn't playing defense. They were just allowing him to get yardage. They had him under 200 yards. So he did have 2 touchdowns to no interceptions. No interceptions this week, Panther fans. But Abdullah, like we said, that was one of my keys last week, was to make sure that they contained him. He was 10 rushes, only 31 yards. Jones Jr., he had 6 for 54 yards. 2 late touchdowns, as I keep pointing out, went to Fells. He was 2 for 24 yards, which, you know, there were short yardage touchdowns to him. The Panthers didn't give up any big plays today. We seen Worley down at a point. At one point, I was worried about him. But nonetheless, the Detroit's defense was, Wilson led the way. He had 9 tackles, 1 assist, so he was short of being double digits in tackling. Panthers allowed 3 sacks on Cam, and Detroit's defense only gave up 28 yards rushing allowed. Panthers, we got to do better than that with our defense, or our running offense. Time possession, that was another key. Remember, I said controlling time possession, yet the Panthers did. They had 35 minutes, 22 seconds compared to Detroit's 24 minutes and 38 seconds. So the Panthers did have some good time of possession. Basically, a lot of it was in the second half when they had to really wind the clock down and play conservative, which is what Ron likes to do in the second half unless the Panthers are behind. So I thought that they all done well. I'm looking forward to the next game, as the Panthers, I think, will be away at this game in Philadelphia. I'm not sure. Don't quote me on that. But I remember them saying it was going to be Thursday night against Philadelphia. So I am very glad that we showed up. Cam once again showed up. He's getting that efficiency back. We can tell that he's in the flow now. Keep the big receivers in. Keep Dixon in, as you did well with him. You kind of went away from him in the second half to where he could have tried to at least break the most receiving yards in a game, but still okay. But our run defense, we've got to do better than that. I mean, our offensive line and getting the push to get our guys, the running backs, some running room, because Cam's throwing well, but Cam's throwing 33, 34 times. You know, you want to kind of have a run game that's efficient so Cam doesn't have to pass as much. And healthy Cam is a good Cam. So, once again, Panther fans, I'm glad that you could join me for this video. And if you do, give me a thumbs up. Subscribe to my channel as I try to give you the insight and results and things that happen on the Panthers and their games, the previews and the reviews as well. So, and like I said, the Panthers play Philadelphia next. I'll pump that video out to you as quick as I can. And until then, this is Bill Mack with the Panther Prowl saying, keep pounding.